businesses, for companies, businesses, corporation, if they adopt new system and then improve their hardware and a new process, if they adopt new process, if people ask why, then the answer will be simple. It's for profit. And if any political leader try to set up new rules and new regulations and then try to set a new agenda, then their answer, the same question, why do you do that? I mean, the simple answer will be to increase their impact, to increase their influence, power. So convenience, profit, and power. These are the easiest answer for any changes that we make in our personal level. Then here's my question. Can we prioritize the earth and coexistence over our desire and demand for convenience, profit, and power? It's hard to answer this question. If our answer is no, then where can we find hope? Where's a real possibility for a sustainable future of humanity? So for this, our answer, the answer that we want to propose from ECO and also I believe from IBREA is earth citizenship, empathy, mindful choice, and community. So these are where we find the answer, where we find real strength. For the earth citizenship, I know that I believe you remember this scene as how long was it ago? Almost like maybe 20 years ago. It's a really long time ago. And so the reason why I selected this photo is imagine that you are traveling into outer space. And it's now because it's becoming, I believe in our lifetime, it will become a personal reality. It's more and more chances are opening up for us to take that type of journey, traveling into outer space. So I'm not sure whether you're excited about it or not, but if that happens to you, if you have opportunity to travel into outer space, and somehow you landed on an unknown planet where sentient beings like us live there, but we don't know they are hostile or friendly. So, but they are interested in you. So when they come to you, when they approach you to find who you are, and they will ask some question, then what do you believe what do you believe their first question will be? Will they ask your name, or will they ask you your age or your social security number, or what kind of information they will ask? My belief, I mean, I think you can easily agree. Their first question, the most meaningful and common sense, the question that make most sense in the context will be, where are you from? Because that's how they figure out who you are, the most basic information. So if the alien asks you, where are you from, then what will be your answer? Are you gonna say you are from the country, several countries here? I'm originally from South Korea. And should I say I'm from Korea, but actually, you know what? There are two Koreas, North and South, and then we are in a conflict, and North Korea is causing a lot of troubles to our national security matter and those kind of things. None of these will make sense in that context at all. Or some of you will say, I'm from New York, especially from Bronx or Manhattan. That kind of answer doesn't make any sense. So even though all of us are from different background, different nationality, different ethnic origin, there's the common answer that we all give. Everybody here in common, or everybody will give the same answer, will say, I'm from the earth. So what I'm trying to say is that we may have been using different information to explain about us, to describe ourselves, to describe our identity. But actually, all of those informations are, I would say, man-made, artificial, historically, geographically limited. But the fact that we are from the earth, that's a nature-given information. No matter where we live, no matter where we go, not only in our planet, but where we go in the entire universe, we will be still be Earth citizen. So that's what I'm trying to say. Actually, this is the spirit behind ECO and also IBREA, that we have a common identity, that we are that we are all Earth citizens. We are citizens of this planet, not from, that should be our primary identity before we identify ourselves as a member of a one specific religious, ethnical, or political group. So so that's that's why I wanted to share this photo. And if this happened in some other outer space, what the conversation will be like? How would you identify yourself? That's the idea that I shared will be the answer. I'm from the Earth. I'm an Earth citizen. That's the spirit of Earth citizenship. When we identify ourselves as Earth citizen, it doesn't mean our Earth citizenship is not an invention. It is our natural-born identity. We have been, we were, we have been, we are, and we will be always Earth citizens, citizens of the Earth. Even when we expand our boundary beyond this planet, that will be still our origin. That will be still the information, the primary information of our identity. So becoming an Earth citizen means breaking out of a self-imposed idea, the narrow identity of who we are, and embracing the broader reality of who we really are. And when we have this type of mindset, then the way we see things, the way we prioritize things, which value that we'll prioritize, which value, which goal we put first will be different based on our identity and our value system, which put the Earth at the center. And another thing, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is the power of empathy. I'm not sure you know what this picture is. A few years ago, the marine life research team from the Texas A&M University, they found a baby turtle struggling to breathe. So they rescued the turtle, and they found something is blocking its nostril. So they tried to remove it to help it breathe. And because it's stuck so deeply, when they try to remove it, it bleeds, and then the turtle makes a painful sound. And they recorded this and put it on YouTube. And this video has become viral. So eventually they found that there's a straw, the plastic straw that you use for drinking the beverages. So this video has become a viral video, and then more than 100 million people view this video in just a few days. So this ignited the worldwide campaign to ban the use of the plastic straw in restaurants globally. So we already knew that it's not good for us and good for the ecosystem, and it's not good for using the plastic. We knew that it's not good for the Earth, not good for ourselves, not good for the ecosystem. But why it didn't happen before? I think that shows the power of empathy. Intellectual understanding is not enough to motivate us to take action, but when we feel how others feel, that really motivates us to change, because the video was so lively, so vivid. People can see and feel, not just understand. They could feel how the little animal would feel. So that actually motivate people to take action. So that's how it became a global campaign. So I think there are many other examples of the power of empathy, but it really shows that when we really use the power of empathy, what kind of action that we can take, how quickly we can make the changes. So a little more about the empathy and embarrassing AI question and distinctive quality of human nature. What I intended about this is, when we put on one big difference between AI and human intelligence is that AI supposedly are not affected by, it's not affected by personal bias or emotion. So let's say AI can give most objective answer to our question. So let's put an AI here, and then we ask the question: what is the most effective, simplest and quickest way to recover balance to ecosystem to this planet? No limit to the answer, any answer. Without removing all the limitation, we ask this simple question: what is the simplest, easiest, and the fastest way to recover balance to the ecosystem on this planet? Then what would be the answer if there's no limitation to the answer? We already know the answer. Just when remove the humanity, that's the simplest answer. So if if you if we are, what is the unique human value? Why do we need to continue to exist on this planet? Without that answer, then just being here on this planet, exhausting all the resources and destroying all the other life forms on the earth, it looks very egotistic and very selfish. So for our own really basic existential justification, we really need to ask this question: what is a unique human quality? Why do we need to continue to exist on this planet? And another the fact that I wanted to bring it out, in the age where 2 billion people are connected as a friends on Facebook, it may be more than 2 billion now. It was a few years ago when I get this data, and each has about 300, 400 friends on average. Then blank is one of the top health risk factors, like smoking and drinking. Do you know the answer to this blank? It's loneliness. How paradoxical, what an irony. When there are so many friends and 2 billion people are connected with the friends, and the loneliness is one of the top health risks like smoking and drinking, what a paradox of our life. So answer to these, both of these is the key element where we see behind this is empathy, the capacity to feel how others feel is one of the essential qualities of human nature, and it's the most natural expression is care. When we have this, when we use this, that gives us a reason why do we have to continue to exist on this planet, and there's a lot that we can do by using this power. So when we feel how others feel, we naturally start to care from oneself, and not only ourselves and our family, but our friends, our community, all the way to humanity and the planet itself. So I would say the world is sustainable only as much as we care. Empathy for equity. Forced equality versus empathetic equity. We in a human history already already showed us that the forced equality is not an answer to resolve the poverty issue. Those historical experiments, we could say it's a failure already. So the other answer that we can find is empathetic equity, not a forced equality, but the equity we realize through our power of empathy. So empathy can serve as a powerful catalyst for social change by fostering understanding, solidarity, and collaboration across the diverse communities, and also ultimately helping to bridge the poverty gap and create more equitable, caring society. So that's the potential of the power of empathy for the issue of the poverty gap. So brain education help people to find great qualities of human nature, like empathy and conscience, and within great qualities of human nature within, and recover the power of empathy. And with this power, it helps to connect with other people and with nature. And eventually, it'll help to create a caring global community and sustainable future of humanity. And I saw how IBREA using by using brain education, how it helped other communities to exactly do this. I believe other presenters will share their stories, especially what IBREA did in El Salvador. That exactly shows what I explained here. Empowering individual, empowering the community. So that's what I prepared to present with you about eco and brain education. And I thank you again for this opportunity to share. And I hope you got some useful information about brain education and find the opportunity to apply that to make good things happen in your community as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve Kim. That was very enlightening and informative. I hope everybody can feel the spirit and the philosophy that we are holding, both in ECHO and in IBREA, and how the key message is really that empathy is the key. So if we look at poverty, for example, when we feel that somebody else is in need, and then we feel that we have enough to share, we're gonna naturally share. So I feel like this this equity gap kind of solves itself if really we develop this empathy in the truest sense. Yeah. So I'm going to share now my screen to introduce to you IBREA's perspective and IBREA's work. Okay, I hope everybody can see. So I want to start by asking you to maybe take a look at yourself. So as I was saying at the beginning, we feel like there is a totally intrinsic connection between the individuals and the society. So between each one of us and our community, our country, and the world, whether we have a position of authority and influence or we don't. So when it comes to poverty, I want you to ask yourself, if you ask yourself first, what was I born poor? And this can take, your answer can be very different. But just ask yourself, do you feel, was I born poor or was I born with resources, not poor? And then second question I want you to ask is, today, do I consider myself poor or not? And then look at the story between those 2 points. Since you were born and then today, your view of yourself in terms of poverty and what happened in between. What was your mind? What was your action? What was your life experience? And just take a moment to contemplate about that. And if I share my own personal story, I feel like I was born not poor, and then somehow in my pursuit of happiness and spirituality, I a little bit made myself poor. And then I feel like today I'm kind of climbing out of that poverty again. So from my life experience, what I feel is one thing doesn't exclude the other. So material resources and happiness or spirituality, they can work together. That's my experience and my awakening after many years and many choices and many experiences. So what's important is you look at your story, and then what I feel is all these stories is what make up our collective story. And people in individual systems, their stories of poverty make the story of that system. So when it comes to energy and consciousness, it's all intertwined. So if you really look at it, it's actually very scientific. It's not like a belief that some of us might have, but it's very exact. If you look at your life, you can see clearly how you've been creating, right? Your story of poverty. So having said that, the program that we do, Brain Education, is really helping each person look at that and then take ownership and responsibility, knowing that all the choices I'm making is impacting not only me, but the world at large. So that's the main underlying thread of our program. But having said that, that's the view that we see, that the problems such as poverty, and this applies to many other social problems, are both profoundly personal as well as structural. So we have to work in both levels, but with that same agenda, that same, like Steve Kim was saying, that empathy, that we all care about our humanity and our planet. So what kind of story am I going to create that's good for me, but also for the whole structural reality? But what I feel has been happening is that we leave the poverty solution to kind of the works of the heart, like charities and churches. And I feel like in that way there needs to be maybe a little bit more effort in the systemic level. It's that I feel is maybe a preconception that we have been applying when it comes to poverty. And then oftentimes also we focus on reducing the immediate needs, just the feeding, or like quickly covering a specific need, but not so much addressing the root, why we have this poverty. So I think that's something important to contemplate. And then when it comes to the brain, and this is scientific facts, it is true that children who grow in poverty, they're more prone to have both physical and mental health problems. And also, a poverty environment directly impacts the development of the brain. So there has been substantial research about this. So I think it's also something that we have to acknowledge. And in that sense, we all have a responsibility, but it's true that it's definitely not easy for people who are born in poverty to change their destiny, to create a new story. So we do have to help each other in that way. So now I'll talk about the mind-body connection. If you can bear with me how this connects to the topic, we might have like a preconception, okay, mind-body training is like a yoga to feel good and release some stress, and it's sort of something for the rich world, or it could be like this. I feel like the media and the culture maybe tends to portray it in that way, but there is a very deep and real value to the mind-body connection and to mind-body training, and that's what I'm going to try to convey, and that's what the brain education program does. So basically, when the mind and the body are connected, meaning we are present. Like, let's say right now, everybody's present, your body is here, but how much are we fully perceiving and fully here with our heart, with our focus, 100%? It's not easy. So we can say a lot of the time we spend disconnected, a little bit disconnected. And in that disconnection, so many problems start to develop because we are not paying attention. We can say, what is my body posture right now? And what kind of mind do I have? Is it positive thoughts? Is it negative thoughts? If we're not aware, then our body and our mind just does its thing without us being mindful about it or being aware, basically aware of it. So this is at the essence of our program. And what I want to try to explain is when it comes to poverty. So if we have a very difficult environment, it's that much harder to actually connect our mind and body. It's like we don't want to be there. Like, let's say, our parents are violent with each other. We want to escape this reality. We don't want to be at home and really face this difficult reality. We might want to play, we might want to distract ourselves. And in that process, you disconnect. And as you grow up, maybe you start drinking or doing drugs to not bear this difficult reality. So in a healthy state of connecting the mind and the body, what the hope is that if we help these children and young people be in that reality, and then in the reality of their body and their environment, and accept it for what it is, then they can start to empower themselves, and they can start to find a way to change their reality. So we cannot change our reality without accepting it, basically. So if we don't accept it, we're escaping. This is mind-body disconnection. But when we, if we have programs like this, like IBREA, that help people not escape, like illegally migrate or use substances, but really go in there, face it, and then find the energy and the power inside of the mind and inside of the body to start to change that reality for yourself, then it's that much more not only healthy but sustainable. So this picture just shows, and this is for everybody, whether we're rich or poor. Also for the rich people, if we really want to contribute to the poverty gap, we also want to go through this process where we are accepting our reality and then sharing from there. So awareness works like this. We either put it inside ourselves or we put it outside into material things, houses, diplomas, people, recognition. And this will depend on where we put energy. So what I'm trying to say is, with brain education in a poverty context, if we focus on the self, we can create these changes outside. But if we focus on getting those things, we will keep losing our power, and we will keep depending on those things, on somebody giving us those things. And also, when we give material things to people who are in poverty without strengthening their mind and their power, they might not make a good use of it, and it's not their fault. It's just a lack of education. So finally, I'll just say that this is kind of the process as we see it to combat poverty. The first step would be acceptance, and in this step, we teach about self-love and physical and mental health. So that process of coming into your body, and even though it's difficult and you have pain, and because of your circumstances, guiding through this process of acceptance, they can start to feel a good level of self-love and physical and mental health. You will hear now from Laura and also from our project in Harlem, but this is a very important step in our education. Then second step, once they feel a little more comfortable in their body, would be more of accumulation of energy, accumulation of little steps of success and discipline and endurance. So changing the habits to be more and more like strong in yourself. And then from there, they can start to create and develop their focus, their commitment, their sense of accountability and service. So this might take, in El Salvador, we've been working for 12 years, and Laura, who will give her testimonial now, she started the program with us 12 years ago and then became a master trainer in the last few years. So it can take time, but it's definitely more sustainable. And that's what we feel like. If everybody is empowered, then we can make it happen. And then lastly, just mentioning that balance is key. So definitely we want to empower people, but it might be too difficult. Like you can do it, and then situation is so difficult, and just cheering them on and you can do it is not, it can be too challenging. So just if we have more resources, just sharing always a little bit and make a balance is very important to accompany that process of empowerment. So sharing, and again, from the sharing perspective, let's say from the rich countries to the poor countries, again, that should come from a place of not so much like I help you, but or some political reward or satisfaction, but really about, as a person with more resources, feeling and acting because we feel it's just more balanced and more natural, and it's good for our own development and humanity. So that on that note, I think I'm going to finish and I will stop sharing. So I really hope that this brings some also some light and some understanding of our program. And I'm happy to take questions also afterwards. But for now, I'm going to continue and give the floor to Laura, who, like I said, has been receiving our program for many years. I don't know if Rachel is around. Okay. So, Laura, puedes empezar tu presentación, te va a traducir Rachel.
Ok.
Thank you so much.
Tengan todos muy buenas tardes.
Everyone, I hope you're having a good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
Gracias por invitarme a compartir mi historia con ustedes hoy.
Thank you for inviting me to share about my story today.
Mi nombre es Laura y soy salvadoreña.
My name is Laura and I'm from El Salvador.
Yo no sé mucho sobre la pobreza en general,
I don't know much about the general issue of poverty,
pero sí sé que yo nací pobre
but I do know that I was born in poverty.
y sé cómo se siente la pobreza.
And I know what it feels like to be poor.
Mi mamá fue una madre soltera
My mom was a single mom,
y hizo lo que pudo para sacarme adelante.
she did what she could to get me by.
A mí y a mis hermanas.
And I had two sisters.
Cuando yo era niña, mi mamá trabajaba en cualquier cosa que podía.
When I was a little girl, my mom did any work that she could find.
Y con lo poco que ganaba, cubría los gastos básicos.
And with the little money she made, she just covered our basic necessities.
Cuando tenía un poco más, podía comprarnos zapatos que compartíamos entre las tres.
And when she could make a little bit extra, she would buy shoes that the three of us would share.
Yo me sentía muy triste y sentía que no había salida a ese, a ese sentido de mi pobreza.
I felt very sad, and I felt that there was no way to get out of this situation and poverty.
Que mi vida siempre sería así.
I just thought my life is always going to be like this.
Cuando cumplí 16 años, salí embarazada.
When I turned 16, I ended up getting pregnant.
Y me convertí en madre soltera.
And then I became a single mom.
No fue nada fácil y caí en depresión.
It was very hard, and I became depressed.
Fue en ese momento que el programa de IBREA llegó a la escuela donde yo estudiaba.
And it was at that time that the IBREA program came to my school where I was studying.
Y desde ese momento hubieron muchísimos cambios en mí y en mi entorno.
And since that day, my life really changed a lot.
El programa no me dio bienestares materiales, ni económicos,
The,
ni
pro- the program didn't give me anything material like money,
lo que me dio fue la energía y la dirección para lograr afrontarme a mí misma y desarrollar mi voluntad y perseverancia.
what the program gave me was the energy and direction to become stronger and to develop my will and my perseverance.
Y poder empoderarme para salir adelante.
And it empowered me to keep pushing forward
Con sesiones constantes y distintos niveles de meditación,
with constant sessions, classes, and different kinds of meditation,
estiramiento, respiración y la guía constante y y la guía constante y educación de Isabel y Erin.
with also stretching and breathing, and then consistent guidance and education from master teachers like Isabel,
Ya que por ellas aprendí de la educación cerebral
it was because of all of their help that I learned about brain education.
para fortalecer mi mente y he ido creciendo mucho a lo largo de todo este tiempo.
And I was really able to strengthen my mind, and it helped me grow a lot over the years.
Y han pasado ya 12 años y sigo involucrándome más en el programa.
It's been 12 years, and I'm still involved in the program.
Desde el 2018 soy instructora del programa
Since 2018, I've been an instructor in the program.
y he venido dando clases a muchos grupos en mi país.
And I've been giving classes to many different groups in my country.
Esos grupos son maestros, alumnos de escuelas públicas y también grupos de mujeres.
I've been teaching to other teachers and students that have graduated from the school, as well as women.
Ahora me siento orgullosa de poder de compartir y también ver cómo se fortalecen esas personas en esos momentos que lo necesitan.
Now I feel so proud that I can share and help others. And when I see other people's changes, I feel very happy.
Dar las clases a los demás me ha llenado más de energía, de alegría. Cuando los veo cuando veo sus cambios, siento que estoy cambiando a mí misma también.
Seeing when the people change really motivates me and gives me so much energy, and also has really helped me change and grow.
Y me siento más fuerte para seguir adelante.
And I feel really motivated to keep pushing forward.
Respecto a la pobreza, cuando mi mamá murió hace 8 años. Al principio yo vendía fruta en una esquina por donde yo vivía.
I really respect and understand poverty. My mom passed away 8 years ago, and at first, after she died, I was selling fruit around the corner from my house on the street.
Ahora yo siento que hoy es cuando he salido más adelante, siempre creciendo, no como maestra de educación cerebral, o sea, como maestra de IBREA.
Now is when I really feel that I am doing better and I'm improving working as an instructor of IBREA.
Tras muchos años de práctica y fortalecimiento,
After many years of practicing and growing and strengthening myself,
lo que considero que poco a poco he ido saliendo de la pobreza, o sea, de la mía.
what I feel that has really helped me little by little come out of poverty is this IBREA.
Bueno, hace muchos años yo era muy haragana, muy, rebelde, tenía muchas dificultades en mí. Sé que todo eso afecta mucho también para salir adelante.
I used to be really lazy and kind of rebellious, and I didn't have kind of good character to be responsible. But now I feel that I have changed, and that has helped me.
Ahora sé que tengo la fortaleza y la fuerza y la voluntad para seguir saliendo de mi pobreza.
Now I really have a different kind of will and commitment to change my reality and bring up effort, and I have a much more positive attitude.
También soy más responsable y también adquiero más compromiso y ser más positiva.
Now I'm a much more responsible person, and I have commitments that help me to keep growing that responsibility.
Sé que lo que estoy aprendiendo y lo que estoy enseñando también pueden ayudar a demás personas, así como me ayudó a mí.
And I know that everything that I've been doing that has been helping me, I can share with others.
También ayudo a mi familia y hago impacto en mi colonia donde yo vivo.
And I've been doing work to also share these things with my family and my community where I live in my country.
Muchísimas gracias por darme este tiempo para compartir con ustedes.
Thank you so much for giving me this time to share with you guys.
Thank you, Laura. Gracias.
Gracias.
Por compartir. Thank you so much. And we're going to move forward. So Laura is one case in El Salvador, in one region of the world. We're going to hear now from back in New York City, in Harlem, which, as you know, is an area that also has struggles with many challenges. So we're going to hear from the vice principal of A. Philip Randolph. She's a very experienced educator and someone I really respect and admire a lot, and who we have worked with together for now almost 10 years. So Kira, you have the floor. We don't hear you. You have to turn on.
Hi, I am Kira Fosterbaugh, and I'm going to be sharing my screen in just a minute. I also want to thank Laura. What you shared was extremely compelling. And I would like to invite you to just kind of stretch a bit, because when you've been sitting for a while, you know, there's a tendency to kind of zone out. And then I want to, if you are comfortable with it, to just do one of the things we do in IBREA, and that's just to tap the skull and to just bring some energy and awareness to that part of the body. And with that, I am going to start to share my screen. Okay. I think that's all that I have to do. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move quickly through this because we are just about out of time and I want to be respectful of your time. I am here representing my school. It's A. Philip Randolph Campus High School. This is a picture from the very early days. We started our partnership with IBREA in 2015. And what IBREA brought to my school, and I'll give you some quotes from some students in just a minute, but what IBREA brought to my school was mindfulness and positivity. And this was so important because, and I'm sure that this is true in the political arena that most of you on this call belong to, just as it is in the educational arena. In education, we like to talk about growth mindset, of shifting the paradigm between experiencing something, and not being successful immediately and thinking, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I can never do this. And shifting that to, oh, what do I need to know in order to improve? What are the questions that I have about this that can help me to improve? So that's great theory, but how do you make this practical for students? Okay, so that's where we're going with the next slide. Okay. So before I talk about that, actually, I wanted to just segue a little bit to make the connection between the theme of today, which is how do we eradicate poverty. My school, 80%, how we judge poverty in the New York City the New York City public education system is how many students in your school qualify for free lunch. Students fill out some, actually their parents fill it out. They fill out some information about the collective family income. And if they fall under a certain amount, then they qualify for school lunch. At my school, roughly 80% of my students qualify for school lunch. Last year, I don't have the figures yet from this year, but last year, 18% of them were unhoused. And yet, over 85% of them do end up attending college. And even though we've started small with IBREA, I believe that IBREA is part of that, the reason for that. And you'll hear from the students in the next slide. Okay, so the young man, Cavardo, who is on the left, is now a doctor. And what he said was, since taking IBREA, I just always think positively. And when I don't, I have the awareness to see it, see that I'm being negative, and I'm able to change my attitude and mind and make it positive. Hasina, who's on the left, said, through the IBREA program, I realized that my future is truly in my own hands. No matter what difficult situations I may have, I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself and to just do my very best in any situation. That was a small change in my brain, but huge and important turning point in my life. And so I just want to clarify a little bit, because sometimes when people talk about being accountable and taking personal responsibility, they act like it's all the fault of the individual, that there aren't systems and policies in place and beliefs in place that are keeping people poor. We are not negating that. IBREA is not negating that, and the way that they've partnered with us does not negate that. But what we are doing is saying, what role, however small, can I play in affecting my own destiny? What role can I play in changing my circumstances? And my students find that very empowering. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I hope this is going to work. I'm a bit of a Luddite. I'm not the most technically savvy. Okay, so that didn't work. So I wanted to share this with you. So so just bear with me. We had the good fortune of being part of, I did the wrong thing here. We had the good fortune of being on a CBS news segment because of that highlighted our partnership with IBREA. And so I just want to share with you a bit of it.
During these stressful times, it's more important than ever to find ways to relax.
And a nonprofit in Harlem seems to have found some ways that work. CBS 2's Jesse Mitchell has the story.
On Wednesday nights, you may spot a light beckoning to you in Northwest Harlem.
I saw Isabel and she just smiled and I was there.
Here at Harlem Brain, Isabel Pastor Guzman shows you how to let go of tension and let in your potential.
It's not quite yoga, it's not quite meditation. How would you describe your practice?
Right, yeah. So the official name is brain education, like how we can tap into the potential of our brain and create what we really, really want for ourselves.
Harlem Brain is a branch of the IBREA Foundation, a nonprofit focused on mindfulness techniques. Students say just being aware of the practice of mindfulness can change everything. National Guard veteran Matthew Molina is a believer.
They'll teach you how to go to war, but they don't teach you how to cope when you come back. I went to therapy for a while and it didn't really work. Did medicine, not quite, but I come here and it's like, this works.
IBREA's reach extends across the globe. After a session at the United Nations, El Salvador created a national school curriculum based on these teachings.
Life increase being with Carlos.
Harlem kids now find the program within reach too. Pastor Guzman partnered with Vice Principal Kiara Foster-Bott to bring the practice to A. Philip Randolph High School 5 years ago, after connecting over a common belief.
Getting people to recognize that they have choice gives them so much power and it's so liberating.
Foster-Bott used her position as head of the Humanities Academy here to add Harlem Brain's teachings as an elective.
After second period, I'm relaxed the whole day. So I look forward to it.
Caitlin Selsey has only been taking the class a few weeks, but she's already noticed a difference.
For basketball games, I use it for stretching, and for tutoring, when I do at home and homework, I do the brain tapping, I do the ab movement, like slams, and I just meditate. It's like,
she's teaching these tips to her friends too, and that's Pastor Guzman's goal, to spread positive energy throughout the community.
You can choose. Even though your environment is like this, you decide whether you do things this way or that way. Then the whole future looks different.
With more inner light to make that future bright. In Harlem, Jesse Mitchell, CBS 2 News.
Is the answer.
I feel like saying namaste right now. Right.
About it.
Some mindfulness around
All
here.
right. Okay, and I just have one last slide. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Okay, yeah, okay, that's gonna be too hard to read, but I hope I can read this next one. All right, let me see if I can move where you guys are so that I can read. Okay, and so the last quote from a student that I will share is from Cynthia. IBREA is one of the best decisions I have ever made. IBREA is very helpful. This program gives students an insight of what's going on in the brain. It demonstrates that we are capable of doing anything if we put our minds to it. IBREA's curriculum taught me that the brain is powerful and we should use it to its full potential. Okay, so I think I can come back to you now. Just make this bigger. Just, I don't know how to make this bigger. I think this is it. Oh, that's not doing it. Okay. 1 second here.
You can click stop sharing.
Okay, yep, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn it back over to Isabel. And if you have any questions, we're the five of us are here to answer.
Thank you so much, Kira. Your one thing I do want to mention is whether, when we try to deliver this program and these experiences and principles, the partnership is so important. So Kira has been a very, very amazing partner, and she has gone through her own growth together with us. So I think she's a big example of that, the power of working together. Because it depends on all the actors to make a result. So if you have any questions that we can answer, we'll be very happy to answer from any of the country representatives or individuals. This is the time to ask questions or comments. No? Okay. Oh, we have one more presentation. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Where's my concentration? Oh my gosh. This is very important. Please stay. This is very important presentation. And then we don't need to have Q&A. You can be in touch by email and to use our time well. So I'm going to give the floor to Fran. She's also a very special person to us, who is an incredible educator, and she has gone through brain education herself, and is a great professor at the Institute of Brain Education, as well as Sunny College. Yes, Fran, you have the floor. Please go ahead. And I'm very sorry.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to UN for hosting such conversation, and also about social development and addressing the issue of poverty around the world. And also thank you to IBREA for bringing such a great work to look at poverty from a different angle. I think it was well said that we want to be sustainable. We want to make changes people are capable of making a difference themselves if there is enough of the pathway is there. Change happens from bottom up, but certainly from top down, and we need both. And when they both meet each other, then we can have a sustainable growth there. And IBREA is certainly doing the work from helping people from bottom up, that we learned the inner work that is necessary. If you are in the fields, like I teach global studies and peace studies, and if you are in these fields and also someone who cares about the world, we constantly read stories about how economic failures, ecological failures, the violation of human rights, and it becomes extremely difficult to keep reading these statistics, these reports, and sometimes you want to just kind of crawl and be in despair and feel like there is nothing it can be done. But the truth is that actually a lot of things can be done, and we are seeing some of the examples of how change happens. I came across this model of looking at the problems of the world. It needs every single one of us to step up, and we can't possibly afford to go into a despair or complacency. So it requires every single one of us to step it up. And sometimes I'm looking at the leadership classes that I teach, so where should we start? And it always, this model was developed by a good friend of mine, Dr. Whitney McIntyre Miller at Chapman University, called the Integral Peace Leadership. And everything starts with inner work. And that's why I'm so committed and also so grateful that a program like IBREA exists. The inner work is where the sustainability of the personal peace practice comes from. That would enable us to appreciate ourselves and be flexible to adapt and grow. It's sometimes even when people, they have knowledge and skills, but they haven't done the inner work yet, that knowledge and skills, actually, it becomes very harmful to the world. So we always need to start from inner work, and our personal wellness matters. Our capacity to grow, the capacity for compassion, the capacity to stay at the moment and see things for what they really are and what we can do about it. The inner work is a big deal in our stepping up into leadership of if we want to, as a species, for us to survive and grow and thrive in the world. I think the second thing that has been suggested is knowledge. We need to have the knowledge and awareness about contextualizing our realities, not running away from them, but exactly knowing what they are and contextualizing it, and be able to participate in transforming our world. That needs to be having it like a good dialogue of skills, listening skills, negotiation skills, mediation skills, and to be able to tell the story in such a way that would be inspiring and bring awareness to people and inspire everyone to take their part in it. So knowledge is important. Again, the knowledge that is rooted in inner work, a knowledge that can actually, it goes deep in with our inner work that we have already done, or which has had a sense of compassion, love, empathy, and a sense of self-awareness. Our commitment, Laura mentioned it very, very wisely. Yes, we do need our commitment to it. Only and only our commitment moves us forward. Only and only our commitments moves us forward. So it's important that we have done the inner work as a root of, and then knowledge. We also, it's important, again, Kira mentioned it really brilliantly about building that community, having the community at school that actually works with programs that are locally driven. It's only and only a community knows its gifts, its talents, its everything, its problems, challenges. Only and only a community knows. So if we started from locally, to drive change, we will kind of like, rally a social change, based on human capital, based on what individuals they can do for themselves. Like Kira mentioned it, that, we are not negating that the right policies, social justice policies should be there. And then when we are actually committed to our growth as well, when the two meet each other, then a fundamental and sustainable change happens. And so it's a collective actions of not just one or two people, but a community that's uplifting itself and demanding for better world. And finally, our environment. The environment area is the efficient system of a structure that is there, that it was mentioned, that is a structure for building a culture of peace. At the system level that actually supports us for to create a better world. Like I mentioned, we need bottom up, and we need top down, and we need the environment that deals with the complexities in the world. Its challenges are complex, and the worst thing we can do is to find a simple or an easy answer to a complex question. And that's why sometimes people, they gravitate towards those easy fixes, which never really transforms anything from bottom up. So our activism, our advocacy, our networking, everything that the work of IBREA has been doing to create also that environment that fosters equity, justice for local community as well as planet itself, as Earth, as the environment, putting Earth at the center, and then deciding that all our human rights, our economic rights, everything is also driven from that fulcrum of Earth, and deciding, like, you know, what rights do we have? Is it good for the Earth? Is it good for the environment? Then it is good for me. If it is not good for the Earth, it's not good for the environment, it's not good for me as well. So kind of like, you know, going through this integral peace leadership, which is rooted in inner work, has been something that I have been working with and experimenting with the students. And I see a great result. So I know that we are being you know, short in time, but I can answer questions. I just kind of like briefly wanted to mention about what brain education has done in the whole integral peace leadership. The leadership that of every single one of us is important, for every single one of us to step up. And we have to start somewhere, and that would be that should start with me. And I need to do my own personal transformation before I will step into the arena of leadership. And I'm very happy that a program like IBREA exists to assist everyone to experiment a sustainable growth, a sustainable change, a sustainable leadership, that it's not just driven by a few, but is shared by many. But I will be happy to answer questions if anybody has any questions.
Thank you so much. And that was really great. It's very inspiring and very clear framework. And I can feel you really experienced this yourself. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, now we are available to take questions. Please raise your hand or just unmute yourself. Anybody? No?
Just a statement. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, no, I was struck by all the talks, really, how much one person changing has kind of a snowball effect. Like Laura was saying, her family and those around her, and she's teaching now and all that stuff. I mean, changing one person's mindset like that and everything can have such a huge effect on the community, on, you know, I think that's basically what everybody's saying in different words.
Thank you, Dennis. That's right. That's right. I see here from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Please go ahead. No. Okay.
You're still muted.
Yeah, I think the person is no longer here.
I can see him, but I don't hear him.
Oh,
He's talking, but
right. There you go. Now you're unmuted. But we can't hear you still. If you now it looks unmuted. If you click on the little arrow by the microphone and go to audio settings.
Or maybe you can type it in the chat. And while he's typing, because Isabel, looks like you have another hand up.
Yes, right. We'll take the second question. Maybe, okay, for the representative of Democratic Republic of Congo, you can take a minute. In the meantime, we're going to take the question from Teburo Tito. Please go ahead.
Well, let me say thank you very much. I was listening. Yeah, and I'm inspired by individuals. You're great, I must say. All of you have spoken. You inspired me because I mean somebody spoke before me saying that the power of one. And here I would say it's the leadership. Once you see the light, move forward. The light is good. If it's a light good for people, why stop? Why not move forward? And I can see you're doing that. That's what you're doing, and I praise you, and I raise my hat for you, and I say you're doing great. Go on. If you think it's good for humanity, go ahead. You have my support. A little support from the Pacific island called Kiribati. Kiribati is somewhere between Hawaii, Honolulu, and Tahiti, and Cook Islands. We're there in the
Wow,
big ocean.
I'm sure it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is somewhere. I think it is, but we're being threatened by many big things coming to the island. But anyway, we're not giving up. We're trying to say this is the Pacific, and we are supposed to hold strong onto it to make sure people behave like the Pacific people. We're the Pacific people. We care for the nature. We care for the ocean. We care for the planet. We're just like you. So please, go on.
Let's work together.
If you think it's good, don't stop. Keep running. Keep pushing. It's good for humanity. If it's not good for you, it's good for humanity. And if it's good for humanity, good for all of us. So thank you very much for your presentation, and all the best.
Thank you, Teburoro. We hope to stay in touch, and we hope to work together with you.
Okay.
I feel you understand.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to the panelists for the presentations. Mine is, I'm going to touch on the first panelist. Do you want to address the presentation on poverty gap and brain education for sustainable development? So let me just say that, of course, in carbon-based economy, action for production and consumption is inevitably increase carbon emissions. So I just to raise observations that the question, the presentation he made, also the question is raised, was addressed at the UN. I want just to recall the General Assembly Resolution 70/1 on 2015, transforming our world, the 2020 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And precisely on SDG 12, was talking about sustainable consumption and productions. At target 12.1, let me just quote, the Assembly recalled that there is a need to support developing countries to strengthen their scientific and technology capacity to move toward more sustainable patterns and consumption and production. What I want to raise here, I think at mindset level, developing countries are aware that there is a need to shift from carbon energy to clean energy. So the question left behind in this presentation is the question of the cost for developing countries, the cost of shifting from carbon energy and clean energy. So how to bear the cost. It may be at a regional level or national level. Let's say domestic budget can't fit to bear the cost. So how to sort out this matter? So that's my observations. The second presentation is it's okay, but it's more psychologics. So how someone in regard to the place you were born can feel that is poor or is not poor. Is there a link between poverty and the place you were born? I don't know. I'm seeing. I can just continue brainstorming on it. On it. Some rich people. I don't know if they were born in a rich places. That's the. Is a big panel discussion. I don't think that if you were born somewhere where there is a poverty, you can't become rich in your future. I thank you.
Thank you so much for your intervention. And let's take the other question from Smita Muthu. Comment or question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear. And I was, nice listening, taking part, though I couldn't be fully listen to the whole thing. But from the video that was shown by Kiera's presentation time and listening to both the questions, so my comment as well as the question is, when it comes to I saw the topic, poverty eradication and then the mind power. So as just a previous person asked, it's not by birth that I am born a poor, and the situation, the environment that makes me is not within my control. So the message that I got from Kiera's presentation is that the brain power, which can, in spite of any situation, that is actually the ultimate weapon to change myself, irrespective of the situation that I am, because it's not within my control. So actually, this is something really good because it is within me. To work with my brain is ultimately within my control. So that way is a highway. There is no stop for me. So that with that weapon, I think we can motivate. In spite of being poor, I can be rich in my attitude, I can choose to be happy, and I can be liberated. Though I am in a concentration camp, in Hungary, but my brain has the power. So I think that has always been my longing. So I'm so happy to listen to this presentation. So that can be our weapon to work with in our working. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments, Smita. Can I ask you which country are you from? Are you representing?
Actually, I am nationality is Indian, but for the past 20 years, I am working in Nepal. At present, I am in New York for 2 months of immersion experience at the UN. So at present, I am Washington West Square. I am in my residence. I am attending this virtual meeting. So
Yes.
I have my experience. I am working in Nepal.
Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, I want to offer the floor to Steve Kim and Kara to interact with the two questions. Steve Kim, if you want to go ahead first.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments and also the bringing other information to this discussion. I'm aware of the UN's effort, and not only UN, but the international collective effort to address the climate issue. And it's including the most recent report, the IPCC report. And still, as you may aware, actually the challenges is getting greater, and the impact is still nominal. We don't expect substantial outcome with our current level of effort. So we know that there are we know that there are a lot of effort, but still the basics, the observation that I introduced, where we live and how we make the change in a meaningful way is pretty much the same. So I think because we cannot expect a short-term change from the big things like infrastructure and global, the international the collaboration, then I think we cannot just wait. We have to look into what else we can do on a very personal level. So still, that's why I think the discussion that we had is still very meaningful, and there are a lot that we can do on a personal and community level.
Thank you so much. And then Kira, if you want to.
Yes.
interact.
Okay. So I would say two things quickly. To the representative from the DRC mission, I would say two things. I would say part of the problem in the developing world in Africa specifically is that the climate issues are not only what people in those regions are doing. For example, we know that the rest of the world is dependent on resources that are being mined from some countries in Africa. And a result of that mining, it's actually contributing to the carbon footprint. So those problems are not, it really requires a whole different mindset of thinking about how we use the Earth's resources differently. Because do people need to have 65 different cell phones? Do they need to get a cell phone every year? Part of that is what drives what's happening in the Congo and in other parts of the world. But, and then the other question that you have, I would ask us all a question, because I think one of the things that Isabel teaches students at my school that is so powerful when she talks about present, how present, if you look at your time, what percentage of time are you actually present in that moment? Most of us are daydreaming or worrying about something in the past or worrying about something in the future. And so we don't have our energy to solve problems because part of our mind is spinning in someplace else. So when we are fully present in that moment, our whole self, we are so much more powerful. And that is how I would answer your question, because I feel that there's so much human capital that just gets wasted. A lot of these problems, considering how amazing we are as a species, remember that early humans had so many predators. One reason why we're fear-based as a species is because we had to keep running. You know, you heard a twig, you better run. A lot of predators, but today we have no predators except for each other. How did that happen? It was because of our brilliance that we created that. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no solution. I mean, there's no problem that we can't find a solution to if we value human capital. If we truly value human capital, if no human can be thrown away, if all of us have value, and we do that by first being fully present and aware. So anyway, let me get off the soapbox, but that's my response.
Thank you so much. I think we all connected in the way that was most important to us. And I'd like to end with a little bit of a very short 1-minute experience to try to experience actually that sense of empathy and connectivity. If you just straighten your spine for a moment and close your eyes and bring your hands together. We're going to rub them like this. Just rub and make a friction with your hands. Rub, 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 a little bit strongly and fast. Fast, fast, fast and strong. Fast and strong, fast and strong. And breathe out through your mouth and make a smile. Your brain loves smiles. It gets so happy. Smile, smile, and rub fast, fast. Move your body. And then shake like this as fast as you can. Shake, 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 shake. up and to the sides and front. Shake, shake, shake. Ah, and breathe out and move your neck and shoulders a little bit. Ah, breathing out. Ah, very good. Then bring your hands very close. Close your eyes. Bring them very close, but without touching. And just focus on that feeling, that space between your hands. Hands, hands. Feel your hands. Then slowly pull them away from each other, making that feeling grow. It becomes bigger and bigger. Keep your focus between your hands. Just this moment, just the space between my hands. Breathe out everything else. Expand and expand. Now touch the surface of this kind of energy ball between your hands. Imagine this is the earth between your hands, and caress the surface. You can feel with all its land and all its water and all its people, our big human family, and just focus on the feeling. And with your hands, caress the surface as if you want to take care of it. Just let's focus together and feel. Good. And slowly we're going to make this energy ball a little smaller again. Bring your hands a little closer. The energy becomes a little stronger and more solid. And slowly you're going to bring it down to the level of your abdomen, to your center. Move slowly so you keep your feeling. Bring it down and down. And then let your hands rest in your center, in your abdomen. Feel your hands and feel the center of your body as if it were the center of the earth. The core, strong and warm center of the earth, in the center of your body. Relax your shoulders and chest and breathe in deeply all the way to your center and breathe out. Feel it's a little bit warm. Breathe in and breathe out. And one more time, breathe in through the top of your head. Imagine it opens and air comes in. Very bright air and energy. And as you breathe out, it goes down your body all the way to your abdomen. Breathe and open your eyes. Good. Did you feel a little something between your hands? So in that space, we're all connected. We have same feeling. That's my experience with IBREA. Wherever we go in the world, when we do training and we connect and we feel energy, it's the same everywhere. Whatever culture, whatever background, and everybody can feel this is our human energy that we all share. And from that place, we can solve all kinds of problems. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for participating today. Sorry we went a little bit over time. Thank you. Let's give a big hand to all the speakers. And we will be available by email as well if you want to continue the conversation. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for participating. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Laura, gracias, buen trabajo. Johnny.
Gracias, Dani.
Laura, muy bien. Kira, muy bien. Thank you so, so much. I felt your heart a lot. Johnny, thank you. Are you in your kitchen?
Yes. I usually cook on Sundays, but I had some important project to finish on Sunday.
Okay.
I actually finished today. You know what it is.
I know what it is. John is a manager of a center in New Jersey, brain education master. Okay, thank you. 감사합니다.
Amida, good.
Ah.
See you soon.
Everybody, thank you.